Right, so Helen, I'm John from BikeSocial. We've just done what, 4 hours back roads? Well, back roads and fast A roads. Wasn't actually particularly far, but we did really tight, twisty, bumpy stuff, didn't we? Because that's what we love doing, exploring really like quiet back roads. The problem with those is they're super bumpy. So, put it into context. Obviously, Helen's been on the back of pretty much every type of bike, haven't you? From a Goldwing to my Grom. You didn't like that. We've got a Versys 1000 on long term. We went down to Devon a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? I've just done a comparison with Simon Hargreaves on this S1000XR. I own an MT10. On paper, this has the performance of the MT10 and the load lugging versatility of the Versys. But if this was going to be a good bike, I needed to know what it'd be like for a Pillion. So, what's it like?
Well, having ridden it all day along some really bumpy roads like this one we're on now, I think. Now I really enjoy it, but I was quite crabby on it at first.
Yeah. Why? What happened? Because it's high, isn't it? It's quite tall for you.
Yeah, I think I was crabby because I needed coffee. It's because at first I felt like I was sitting too high. I felt like the seat was too hard.
Yeah.
And I felt that I was feeling every single bump of all the little tiny lanes. It was really jarring me.
Yeah.
But then after probably about 30-40 miles, I suddenly switched and I started to relax on it more, and I realised that it's actually really good fun.
It's surprising, that saddle, isn't it? Because the Versys is like a sofa, like super soft saddle, isn't it? And this is quite thin, but it's really well sculpted. And what I noticed yesterday, it was a long day yesterday riding with Si, and we were riding hard. But I didn't get achy, didn't get a sore bum, and it really cups my bum nicely. And I was concerned for you because we sat on one in Balderston's, didn't we? When we saw one in there second hand, I was like, I wonder.
Yeah, when you first sit on it as a Pillion, you feel very high up and the seat feels very firm. And I'm only saying that because I've been spoilt by the Versys, which is super comfortable for a Pillion and kind of hugs you into the seat.
Yeah.
It's just perfect for Pillions from a comfort level from the seat. So I think I'd got used to that, and then this felt very, it felt like, it just felt uncomfortable really. It felt like I was being sat up too straight and that it was too hard a seat. But I've been on it for 4 hours now, and it's actually a lot more comfortable than I gave it credit for.
Would it be fair to say it's not as comfortable as the Versys?
No, it's not as comfortable, but then you wouldn't expect it to be because it's a different type of bike. But I really, by the end, I was really enjoying being on the back of this. Yeah, definitely.
And we should say actually a massive thank you to Balderston's.
Yeah.
Because when we got the bike on loan from BMW, it didn't come with any luggage, and you love having a top box.
Yeah, having a top box is great. Yeah.
And
thanks Balderston's.
Yeah, TJ at Balderston's went, don't worry, we've got one we can lend you. Apparently one of the sales guys, he can't carry his sandwiches. Well, we've got this.
All right. Yeah.
And I've got to take it back full of Krispy Kremes.
But loss is our gain because. It did that. It definitely helped me bed into the bike faster. Yeah.
So obviously you've got that top box there to rock back to. That's something you like. Sometimes we wear that belt, don't we, that you can hang on to. But it looks to me like it's got really good big grab rails. Yeah,
the grab rails are great. Very well positioned.
Yeah. And bags of room to get your hands in.
Yeah.
What about the pegs?
Pegs, absolutely fine.
You're 5'3".
5'3", yeah.
And you were comfortable on it.
Yes.
I must say I'm super comfortable on it. It's a little bit higher than the Versys. I'm slightly on tiptoe, whereas on the Versys I can get my feet flat down. And as we know, in Devon we had that moment where I nearly dropped it when I stalled it. My fault, not the bike's fault. I was worried with this that I wouldn't be quite as confident. And we've deliberately done some bits here that have been a bit awkward. I don't want to take it back to Devon to try and have to stall it on an uphill. I think the Versys being able to get my feet down helped, but I've also found this does seem really well balanced. So the bars feel really wide. At first, I don't think it's as natural and relaxed riding position as the Versys. The Versys, this is what I was saying with Simon, the Versys is a hugely enjoyable bike to ride. And everything we tried to say about it was like it was damning it with faint praise. So no, but the Versys is nice. The Versys is brilliant. This has an edge, a real edge of excitement. It's very aggressive. And I find that riding, when we were just stuck in some traffic on the A47, we were pooted along at 20 mile an hour, we couldn't get past anything, it was just heaving, wasn't it? It's not that nice to ride then. It's the throttle's hunting a bit. I don't know, I guess you can't really feel it, but I can feel the throttle hunting. The clutch is heavy. It's not, I've seen quite a few in London, as you know, people are commuting in London on them. It'd be good. You can carve through traffic. We got through traffic fine, didn't we? But it's just not got that ease that the Versys have. The Versys is a lovely, easy bike to enjoy, to really enjoy a trip on. But when you want to get a wiggle on with this one, it's really cool. And that noise.
It's a really lovely bike.
I think both of us were really giggling, weren't we? It's got that bah, bah.
Yeah. It's a proper beast.
Yeah, but not. So I had a 1050 Adventure, didn't I, for 3 years?
Yeah.
I always hark back to this. This has got the edge over that. That was tall. I found that a little bit of a struggle sometimes when we were fully loaded with both of us. But there's something about this with the handling on it that I noticed with the Versys, as we'd come up to some junctions, especially right-handers, where you know when you're coming up to it thinking, can I go, can I go? Oh no, I can't go. With the Versys, it's nice soft suspension. It's not soft as in really overly soft, but it has got that bit of a dive. And I was thinking, why am I riding so badly? There's a couple of times I was just having to get myself into the flow of that bike, probably because I was used to the MT10's quite firm suspension, but getting into that flow, I was losing my balance almost a little bit a few times, wasn't I? I noticed with this I'm not. But of course, the Versys is the base model without the semi-active suspension or anything, the one we have. This is the top of the range XR, but it does have the semi-active suspension. And I've noticed that it's just as I pull up, I just stop. And I feel more in control of it as I stop, and especially when you're fully loaded with a Pillion and everything. But it does still feel really well balanced, so it just works well.
Yeah, definitely. I've really grown to like it over the past 4 hours.
Which surprised me, because I did think when you were going out, I was thinking, well, I've really enjoyed riding this on back roads on my own.
Yeah, from being quite, you know, like I say, not particularly warming to it at first. It definitely grows on you as a Pillion. Yeah.
You've found the screen. God, I'm covered in bugs.
I know.
The screen isn't amazing, but it's definitely quieter than the Versys, because we realised at 65 we were able to talk still on the. We got these Cardo Freecon ones, Freecon One Pluses. We had really good. We could chat quite easily.
Yeah.
And it's not quite as buffety. It's not silent.
No, because I thought I'd get
'cause you're so
buffeted
tall,
sitting so tall on it, but not at all.
But you didn't.
No.
Okay.
No, very comfy.
So is there anything you dislike? I mean, it's definitely a different bike to Versys, isn't it?
It's
not
totally different.
got that wonderful. It was when you said that it's like a bike hug, the Versys, which is brilliant.
But you can't really compare the two. They're completely.
That's what's strange, because people do.
Different.
So, but often with the Versys, people will say, but the XR is more powerful. But actually, they're very different bikes. They're a very different experience.
Yeah.
Both have this brilliant place. The XR is which is what Si and I found. It's for when you want to go a bit harder.
Hoon,
Yeah, and we were. That was the thing. Actually, there was one roundabout we went round, wasn't it? I was thinking, I wonder how far we can lean on this.
Yeah.
And it feels utterly accurate and planted. And I've been disappointed with semi-active suspension up until now on every bike, because I've thought, well, why does it still feel firm and hard? Why isn't it everything? Why isn't it firm when I want to go hard and nice and soft when I want to go soft? And I guess you still have to have those compromises of what is mechanically possible. But what I've noticed with this bike is it's not intrusive. You're not aware that it's there. Same with all the electronics. Sorry, bugs. All the electronics on here. But we put it into road mode, and that helped you. It smoothed things out a bit. It was a bit harsh for you on the back in dynamic mode. In road mode, it smoothed it out a little bit. So it's still firmer than the Versys. So the Versys has that beautiful comfort, but when you go into the high speed stuff, this takes over and stays super accurate.
Yeah, and you probably, as a Pillion, you have to work a little bit harder on this bike. You have to adjust your position depending on what the road is. You can get away with just sitting and being lazy on the Versys. On this, when you go on a really bumpy little road, you've got to lean forward. You've got to absorb. Your body has to absorb the.
Does your leg position allow you to do that?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you just have to shift slightly, and then once you've sussed that, it's really good fun. You have to embrace it.
Yeah.
And embrace its power. And I also think that this bike looks amazing.
Yeah.
The styling, I think,
We did stop, didn't we?
amazing. You feel really proud when you leave it to go have a coffee. You kind of want everyone to know that it's your bike.
It's a bit, what's the
It passes my test of being proud in the Sainsbury's car park test of when you walk up to something.
It is.
And I've realised actually that I'm massively superficial, because I've quite liked, I've never had one before, car or bike, and I like having the BMW badge. Which
so
is,
superficial.
I know it's really superficial, but I kind of feel, you know, a bit showy-offy.
Cool. It is an expensive bike, but there's so many little touches on it that feel premium. Even when I first, when Deck brought it over, because obviously we've only got it on loan for this week, when I first pushed it up into the garage, like, whoa, this feels quality. It's the little touches like the plastic surround
Really
to protect you.
where the keys
where the
are.
keys are. Everything about it, everything you feel and touch feels premium.
Yeah.
I do quite like it.
Yeah, I do. This is one of the bikes that I will be a little bit gutted when matey comes and takes it off in a van.
So if anybody's thinking about getting one of these, but as a couple touring, and they could be doing big miles, what are the things, you know, we're in a very fortunate position that we can spend all day with this bike.
Yeah.
If we took this out for a test ride, we might get half hour, an hour. What were the things, what would you say to somebody going out to have a go on one? What would you look for?
Well, it very much depends. It's a real rider's bike. So it very much depends on who's. It's comfortable for a Pillion. And it's good fun, so it is totally the decision of whoever's going to be riding it, because if you like going fast and and you like the option of being able to really came around.
So do you mean if the choice is weighted towards somebody who's going to be riding it solo most of the time?
Yeah, definitely. If you like to ride bikes fast and hard and have that ability to kind of take it to the max, then you're like, this isn't a pootle around bike. But
a Pillion who is going to say, if we bought one of these, I'd want you to be happy with it.
Yeah, I would totally.
And what compromise are you looking at that you've gone, yes, I can accept that?
I think it's, like I say, it's really good fun once you've embraced the quirks, if you like, of the bike.
So the riding position,
the riding position, and
relative
the harshness of the suspension. And so I would look forward to going out on this for the day on this. Yeah, definitely.
What about if I said we're going into, because I still want to take you to that chocolatier in Belgium.
Yeah.
Just stock up on chocolate.
It's only really the rider comfort element, because the Versys you're spoilt when you've been on the back of a Versys, because it's so comfy.
Yeah.
This isn't, this obviously isn't as comfortable for a Pillion, just because of.
But it's not uncomfortable.
But it's not uncomfortable.
So if a couple's going to try one, do some bumpy back roads if that's what you enjoy doing.
Yeah. I'd say if you're going to try one and you've only got an hour, quickly look ahead if it's not a dealer near you, and just plan a little route that's going to be the type of riding that you enjoy.
Yeah.
If you're going to be going down little fen back roads like we've been going around here that are really bumpy, then just make sure that you can handle.
But you do it again.
Yeah. I really enjoyed today.
Cool, thanks for that. Let's get home.
There you go. I'm just in it as get off here.
Hey.
Yeah, I definitely love this bike. I think you should buy it.